Yes, spare wires can be pulled into a panel board without being installed on a breaker. A review of the 2020 National Electrical Code reveals no language that prohibits this practice. Therefore, it is permissible to have spare conductors within a panel board that are not connected to a circuit breaker, provided all other applicable requirements of the code are met. This flexibility allows for future circuit additions or modifications without requiring the immediate installation of breakers for the spare wires. However, several considerations are important when implementing this practice. Firstly, the spare wires must be properly insulated and identified. Each conductor should have its insulation intact and be clearly marked or labeled to indicate its purpose or potential use. This identification is crucial for future troubleshooting and modifications, ensuring that electricians can easily determine the function and origin of each wire. Secondly, the panel board's fill capacity must be considered. The National Electrical Code specifies the maximum number of conductors that can be installed in a panel board based on its size and design. This requirement, often referred to as the fill rule, is designed to prevent overcrowding, which can lead to overheating and other safety hazards. When adding spare wires, ensure that the panel board's fill capacity is not exceeded. If the addition of spare wires would cause the panel board to exceed its fill capacity, it may be necessary to install a larger panel board or reduce the number of conductors. Thirdly, the spare wires must be properly secured and supported within the panel board. The National Electrical Code requires that conductors be securely fastened to prevent strain on connections and to maintain proper spacing. This can be achieved by using cable ties, clamps, or other approved methods. Proper support ensures that the spare wires do not become entangled with other conductors or components within the panel board, reducing the risk of damage or electrical faults. Fourthly, the spare wires should be terminated in a safe and accessible manner. While they do not need to be connected to a circuit breaker immediately, they should be terminated in a way that allows for easy connection in the future. This can be achieved by using wire connectors, terminal blocks, or other approved methods. The terminations should be insulated to prevent accidental contact and clearly labeled to indicate their purpose. Fifthly, consider the potential for induced voltage. In some cases, spare wires that run parallel to energized conductors may experience induced voltage. This voltage, although typically low, can be sufficient to cause nuisance tripping of ground fault circuit interrupters or arc fault circuit interrupters. To mitigate this risk, consider using shielded conductors for the spare wires or routing them away from energized conductors. Sixthly, it is important to consider the environment in which the panel board is installed. In damp or corrosive environments, additional precautions may be necessary to protect the spare wires from damage. This may include using corrosion-resistant conductors or providing additional insulation. Seventhly, documentation is essential. Keep a record of the spare wires, including their size, type, and location within the panel board. This documentation will be invaluable for future modifications or troubleshooting. The documentation should be kept in a safe and accessible location, such as near the panel board or in an electrical drawing. Eighthly, local codes and regulations may have additional requirements regarding spare wires in panel boards. It is important to consult with local electrical inspectors or authorities to ensure compliance with all applicable codes. Ninthly, ensure the panel board is properly grounded. Grounding is a critical safety measure that helps to protect against electrical shock. The panel board should be grounded in accordance with the National Electrical Code requirements. Tenthly, the size and type of the spare wires should be appropriate for the intended use. Consider the potential load that the spare wires may need to carry in the future and select conductors that are adequately sized. Also, choose conductors that are suitable for the environment in which they will be installed. In summary, while the National Electrical Code does not explicitly prohibit pulling spare wires into a panel board without installing them on a breaker, it is essential to follow best practices and adhere to all applicable code requirements to ensure safety and reliability. These practices include proper insulation, identification, fill capacity considerations, securement, termination, induced voltage mitigation, environmental considerations, documentation, compliance with local codes, proper grounding, and appropriate conductor sizing. By following these guidelines, electricians can safely and effectively utilize spare wires and panel boards to accommodate future electrical needs.